There's nothing groundbreaking about cheesecake, but similarly, there's nothing that quite hits the spot like a cheesecake. It's a dessert that can be both deeply, deeply satisfying and fulfilling while also being kind of refreshing and kind of light. And that's definitely the kind of thing I want to bring you guys today, if Tato ever lets me talk to you about it in peace. Today I'm sharing with you guys a recipe for blackberry vanilla cheesecake bars. Something a little bit kind of less stressful than making a whole cheesecake, but something that is every bit as satisfying. Smooth, creamy vanilla cheesecake with a little bit of ricotta in there for extra lightness and some lovely texture, swirled with blackberry preserves and with a lovely salted double chocolate biscuit base. What else do you want? This is perfect for a snack, it's perfect for a dessert, you could even eat it for breakfast. Super, super simple. Even if you've never made a baked cheesecake before, I promise this is nothing too difficult and it's worth the wait for that chilling time. Let's get into it. When building, it makes sense to start from the ground up, so we're going to begin with the chocolate biscuit base. For this, you'll need just some chocolate biscuits and some salted butter. I like to use these dark chocolate chip biscuits, but feel free to use chocolate digestive, something like that, if you're watching from the UK, and just beat them up in a freezer bag with a rolling pin if you want to do it Italian grandma style, or if you have one of those like blitzy food processors, feel free to use that for efficiency, but I promise this way it releases a little bit more stress. You're just going to want to add that to a bowl once you've reached a nice kind of fine crumb consistency. Okay, if you still have some kind of crumbly pieces in there, just nothing too chunky. To that, you're going to want to add the melted butter and just give it all a good stir until it looks like wet sand, basically. You'll then want to prepare your tin. I like to butter it and put a nice bit of greaseproof paper with enough hanging over the sides to make removal easier later on. Even better if you have one of those loose bottomed ones though. And just tip all of that buttery biscuit base mixture in there. Press it down either using your hands or with the back of a spoon until it's nice and flat and even. And then you're just going to want to pop it into the oven for about 10 minutes just to kind of help firm up and dry out a little bit while you prepare the topping. So first I start by mixing together cream cheese and ricotta. You're going to want to do this just until it's nice and combined and smooth. To that, you're going to want to add the remaining ingredients, being some cornflour, 2 large eggs, some lovely vanilla, vanilla extract, vanilla bean powder, whatever you have, and some sugar, and even a pinch of salt if you like. You're then just going to whisk it together until it's all combined. No fancy trickery here, just make sure there's no big lumps of anything, and look out whichever kind of jam or preserves you want to put on top. I used a blackberry one, but blueberry would also be pretty good in this recipe, I have to say. Then you can pour your cheesecake mix on top of the baked biscuit base, before then just dolloping over some generous blobs of your jam. Depending on how sweet it is, feel free to add more or less. This one isn't particularly sweet and it has a very high fruit content, so I used quite a lot. And then you're just going to use either the kind of blade of a knife or the back of a spoon, like the handle of the spoon, to just swirl and marble all of that through there. And this is kind of what it should look like. Feel free to make it as kind of neat and perfect or as rough and ready like mine as you like, before popping it back into the preheated oven to bake low and slow until you see just the tiniest bit of wobble in the middle. Cool it completely before then putting it in the fridge to chill. I like to do it even overnight if I can for the best texture. Then you can remove it, slice it, and sink your teeth into one of these heavenly little things. Gorgeous, chocolatey, crunchy, salty but sweet biscuit base, that smooth and creamy but light cheesecake, and that lovely swirl of sweet and tangy blackberry jam on top. Absolutely perfect. I hope you guys love these too.